This baby was born with superhuman strength. He could plow fields in place of an ox. When he grew up, his strength became even more extraordinary, until one day his father finally bought an actual ox.
Woohoo! Why'd you do that, Father? I sold you into slavery! Arrivederci, sucker!
And just like that, Odysseus was sold into slavery and sent to the gladiator arena, alongside a couple of childhood friends from his village, to become entertainment for the wealthy. Soon, Odysseus faced his first battle. His opponent stood 8 feet tall, with bulging muscles. In comparison, Odysseus was just an unremarkable guy. Suddenly, the opponent launched an attack. One swing shattered Odysseus' shield. The second swing broke his sword. Odysseus was completely outmatched. As the third blow was about to end his life, Odysseus finally snapped. Grabbing the enemy by the legs, he returned to his roots, plowing the ground. The opponent just plowed 3 turns and was already sent to the afterlife. The master of the arena, furious at the loss of his prized fighter, prepared to throw Odysseus to the hippos. Luckily, his daughter Majora pleaded for his life, and Odysseus was spared. From that day forward, Odysseus fought to redeem himself, earning victory after victory for his master. His reputation grew, and so did his bond with Majora.
I heart you.
The two fell in love and often met secretly in Odysseus' cell. Before long, Majora became pregnant. Her father, enraged, gathered all the slaves and demanded they reveal who impregnated his daughter.
I had Sexicus.
I had Sexicus.
I had Sexicus.
To his surprise, every slave covered for Odysseus.
You jerks! You knew I liked her!
We were covering for you, jackass.
The plan failed. Odysseus stepped forward and confessed to his actions, volunteering to take punishment alone. He removed Odysseus' chains and set him free.
To marry my daughter?
Don't! I mean, great! What could be more liberating than marriage?
And so, Odysseus married Majora. The master even sent some slaves, his former friends, to him as wedding gift. The friends reminded Odysseus of the pact they had made back in their cell. Whoever freed must do anything to free the others. Now was the time to fulfill that promise. But when Odysseus prepared to free his friends, Majora stopped him.
My love, you are so noble to take on the back-breaking work of 4 men, day in, day out, no matter how poor and hungry it shall leave you.
Odysseus changed his mind. He maintained his friends as his slaves and pushed them to work for him in a laundromat. Do you know that ancient Romans used urine to wash clothes? The urea in urine reacts with air to produce ammonia, which breaks down grease and stains. Using this secret formula, Odysseus built a laundromat empire across Rome, becoming wealthy in no time. He left the countryside and moved with his family into a luxurious mansion in the capital. Now rich and powerful, Odysseus' friends asked him to honor his promise and grant them freedom. But by this point, Odysseus no longer cared about past loyalties and refused. Instead, he focused on climbing the social ladder, attending noble gatherings with Majora. However, they were forced to stand outside and watch, while senators occupied the front rows. This displeased Majora, who urged her husband to become a senator and gain more power. Odysseus hurried to the palace to ask the Roman emperor for a position.
The pea guy, a senator?
After mocking him, the emperor rode off on his senator horse for shopping, leaving Odysseus humiliated. But then, the emperor's son approached Odysseus. The son made Odysseus an offer.
Kill the emperor and I'll make you a senator.
After much internal struggle, Odysseus agreed.
Pea guy.
With the emperor dead, Odysseus became a senator.
I love my job.
Over the following decades, Odysseus amassed more power while growing increasingly overweight. His wife, Majora, also became consumed by vanity, always wanting more. One day, when the emperor failed to attend a banquet, Majora was furious. She gifted Odysseus a dagger, urging him to overthrow the emperor and seize the throne.
Sweet jumping Jupiter!
Odysseus was horrified by her ambition and flatly refused. But tragedy struck nonetheless. At a public ceremony, the emperor lifted a cup of wine to toast. After the slaves tested the drink for poison, they discovered it was tainted.
You didn't!
You wouldn't.
Though the poison was detected, the emperor couldn't escape his fate. Majora seized the moment to declare her son, Bartigula, the new emperor. With the crowd's support, Bartigula ascended to the throne and began a reign of terror. He conscripted citizens, expanded the military, and even declared war on Neptune, the god of the sea. His campaign resulted in massive casualties. As Rome faced imminent defeat, Bartigula blamed everything on foreign invaders. He wasted the money to build massive fortifications.
Och, who needs you Carthage-sucking aqueduct guzzlers?
To consolidate power, he even dismantled the Senate. The young emperor had gone mad with power and syphilis. In front of his people, Bartigula realized he can no longer be their emperor, but their god. Odysseus could no longer stay silent. He rallied the people to overthrow Bartigula. Enraged, Bartigula ordered his father's arrest and sentenced him to be fed to the lions.
We're gonna need more lions.
And so, Odysseus found himself back in chains alongside his old friends. The oath they had carved into the prison walls now mocked him. Feeling ashamed, Odysseus finally granted them freedom.
We're in a jail cell, you dope.
At this moment, a shadow appeared. It was Princess Lisa, but Odysseus refused to leave. He was determined to end Bartigula's reign.
Are you fellas with me?
No.
On the day of the execution, Odysseus donned his old armor and faced Bartigula in the arena. In front of the entire nation, he humiliated his son. Furious, Bartigula raised his weapon to strike down his father. And so, a brutal father-son duel commenced in the arena. Bartigula was fast, but Odysseus was fatter. Majora begged Odysseus to spare their son.
What?
Seizing the opportunity, Bartigula pulled out a hidden dagger and stabbed his father. Father and son both fell to the dirt. Seeing the deaths of her husband and son, Majora finally realized her ambition had destroyed everything. Overwhelmed by grief, she poisoned herself, leaving only Princess Lisa behind. After this tragedy, the Roman Empire fell into chaos. 400 years later, it collapsed entirely. The story ends, and back in the present, the Simpson family debated the story. Homer blamed Marge. Lisa argued it was power and greed that caused the downfall. Bart, however, had a different takeaway.
Does anyone think it was weird that Dad killed me?
Everyone had their own opinion, and the family began arguing. Meanwhile, the gods observed from above, debating.
If Rome had kept worshipping us, everything would have been fine.